It's time for Mornings at 8 with Jonathan Mark on AM 1480 WLEA.
Oh, yes, indeedy do. It is time for Mornings at 8 with me. It is 5 minutes after 8 o'clock on a Monday morning. Monday, unmistakably Monday. You can't miss it. It's the start of the work week, and here we go. Well, I don't know how it is now, but man, when I came up this morning, it was really foggy. I mean, that valley was just shrouded in fog, just all over the place. However, here on Mount Ashbar, it's pretty nice because the sun is shining and it's a nice morning. Well, let me say, boy, there's so much going on. I don't know, there's more traffic out there. I noticed this morning, Alfred State and Alva University officially begin their 2019-2020 school years this morning. This is the first day of school there. And as I said, a lot more traffic, especially in greater metropolitan Allen. We have so much traffic out there. And it's only going to get heavier because in a week or two or something, regular school starts, grades K through 12 in Hornell, Arkport, Allen, just all over the place, Canisteo. So it's going to be even more traffic. But that's how the year starts, is right now. Well, let's go. What's going on here? Oh, first place, a programming note. Steuben County Democrat Party Chairman Sean Hogan will be on the Newsmaker show coming up right after my show and the news, and there you go. So Sean Hogan will be on the Newsmaker this morning. Oh, let me see now. I left the house this morning. It was kind of brisk and bracing. It was 47 and nice and comfortable. I mean, really nice and comfortable. Yeah, you love this time of year. Absolutely love it. What's coming up? Well, this weekend comes the Festival of Balloons, the New York State Festival of Balloons in Dansville, and that starts, I think, Friday, and that goes through Sunday. So that's always a big, major draw up there. What else? Brian had on the news this morning that New York State's red flag law went into effect on Saturday. And I still say, I don't know about that red flag law. It seems like a really good idea, a very, very good idea. But I think there's a possibility that it could be either abused, or misused. So I don't really know. I just don't know about that. I mean, it would be nice, but there is a possibility that it could go wrong at some point. I don't know about that, but there we are. And anyway, I don't think guns, I've said this before 14 times probably more, guns are not the problem. And the shootings, believe it or not, the shootings are not the problem. Mass shootings, all that. I think that the shootings are a symptom of something far deeper. The shootings are a symptom. They are not the problem. And I think, the problem, just generally speaking, is a general unraveling of the culture. That's what the problem is. And as our culture has unraveled, these shootings have come up, And it's been going on for years, and it didn't start 2 years ago. It didn't start 10 years ago. It didn't start 20 years ago. It started a lot earlier than that. And over the years, things have gotten just a little more unraveled, and here we are. I mean, there are a lot of factors there, Oh, well, anyway, so there we go. Let me see here. Speaking about this is very much related, I think. This is from the Wall Street Journal. And the headline is, Americans have shifted dramatically on what values matter most. Patriotism, religion, and having children rate lower among younger generations than they did 2 decades ago, only 20 years ago. The values that Americans say define the national character are changing as younger generations rate patriotism, religion, and having children as less important to them than did young people 2 decades ago. And that's according to a new survey by the Wall Street Journal and NBC News. And the poll is the latest sign of difficulties that 2020 presidential candidates will likely face in crafting a unifying message for a country divided over personal principles and views of an increasingly diverse society. When the Journal NBC News survey asked 21 Americans 21 years ago to say which values were most important to them, strong majorities picked the principles of hard work, patriotism, commitment to religion, and the goal of having children. Today, hard work, it says here, remains atop the list. But the shares of Americans listing the other three values have fallen substantially, driven by changing priorities of people under the age of 50. Some 6 in 10 in the new survey cited patriotism as very important to them, but that's down 9 points from 1998, while half cited religion, and that's down 12 points. Some 43% placed a higher value on having children, down 16 points from 1998. That's 21 years ago. Views varied sharply by age. Now, this is kind of interesting. Among people 55 and older, for example, nearly 8 in 10 said patriotism was very important. And that's compared with 4 in 10 of those ages 18 to 38. The millennial generation and older members of Gen Z, that's the youngest group, 2/3 of the older group cited religion as very important, compared with fewer than 1/3 of the younger group. So religion isn't as important to younger people than I don't know about that. Okay, fine, I'm just citing the survey here. I guess if that's true, that's not a very good commentary, really. This is according to Republican pollster Bill McInturff. He says there is an emerging America where issues like children, religion, and patriotism are far less important. And in America, it's the emerging generation that calls the shots about where the country is headed. That's a really good point. Because of those, let's say, Gen Zs, the younger ones, and the millennials, I mean, they're going to be the ones in charge. And that's what they think. That's where America is headed. Anyway, so McInturff conducted the survey with Democrat pollster Jeff Horwit. At the same time, the survey found a few points of unity. That's good. A majority of Americans are very or somewhat satisfied with the economy, but 2/3 say they aren't confident the next generation will be better off than the current one. Large majorities also rated tolerance for others as a very important personal value. So there we go. I guess patriotism isn't quite as important as it was. Religion isn't quite as important as it was. And having children is way down on the list. So, yeah, that's a major, major shift. And what people think is important. I don't know. I think a little more patriotism, a little more religion. I think both of those would be a really good idea. Okay. And speaking of how things have changed, this is from the Huffington Post. Florida teacher, if school is going to be starting here very soon, Florida teacher suspended after allegedly boasting of 1,000 dead if he attacks school. Okay, let's see about this here. As I said, this is from the Huffington Post. A math teacher and former Marine was placed on administrative leave in Florida last week after he boasted to students that there would be a 1,000-person body count if he attacked the school, according to court documents. The guy's 51 years old. His name is Keith Cook. And he allegedly told students at Lakeland High School during a lockdown emergency. I guess they're in school in Florida already, huh? Anyway, he told students at Lakeland High School during a lockdown emergency drill that, quote, he would be the best school shooter because he would plant explosive devices before firing a couple of rounds and waiting for everyone to hide, and then press a button and boom, it says here, everyone would die. Wow, that's really weird. The detective assigned to the case, or in charge of the case, Justin Conister, requested a protective order against Cook from Polk County Court. He said he would have a 1,000-person body count and be a hero. This is a teacher, 51 years old. Cook has not been charged, but was taken last week to a local mental health center, according to the Lakeland Ledger. And the school district and the cops have launched an investigation. The chilling incident rattled teens and parents, I guess, as a number of states, including Florida, step up programs to arm teachers as a strategy to protect students from school shooters. President Trump wants 20% of teachers to be armed, even though about 6 in 10 Americans don't think teachers should have guns in school. Critics say teachers are not trained law enforcement officers and are not screened for their ability to be able to effectively handle a gun in dangerous situations. And earlier this month, 2 first graders accessed a school intended for school safety and an administrative office next to an elementary school in Ohio. Well, the gentleman involved here, what's his first name? Keith Cook. Cook said he was only joking. Now, Cook has no prior criminal history. Authorities didn't find any weapons in his car or home, and he isn't charged with anything. But if you say that you could kill 1,000 people, wouldn't that? I don't know. Wow. Okay, I don't know about that. So he says that if he attacked the school, he'd have 1,000 dead and set off a bomb or something like that, but he's not charged with anything. However, he is undergoing some kind of mental health evaluation. Wow, that's pretty creepy. Okay, fine. Okay. You know, as I said, this thing of the culture, I mean, it's multifaceted. I mean, there are a lot of angles to this. And what else have we here? This is from Fox News. This occurred yesterday on CNN. A Duke professor, a psychiatry professor, Alan Francis, speaking on CNN, claimed President Trump may be responsible for millions of deaths and said he's been more destructive than Adolf Hitler, Mao Zedong, and Joseph Stalin. A series of claims that sparked criticism over CNN's lack of pushback. This was yesterday. And this guy, let me see, where does he teach? Duke University. Francis appeared on CNN's Reliable Sources Sunday and almost immediately contradicted himself by comparing Trump to mass murderers right before he discouraged personal attacks. So he compares him to a mass murderer, and then he discourages personal attacks. I don't know exactly how that works, but there you go. He said, Trump is as destructive a person in this century as Hitler, Stalin, and Mao were in the last century. He may be responsible for many more million deaths than they were. He needs to be contained, but he needs to be contained by attacking his policies, not his person. Who said that he's a mass murderer? Okay, yeah, all right, let me see. Francis said calling Trump crazy would be an insult to the mentally ill and claimed American voters are insane for wanting to elect him in the first place. Good, very good. Here you go. He says, I've known thousands of patients. Almost all of them have been well-behaved, well-mannered, good people. Trump is none of these. So the guy who conducted the interview, who was that? Brian Stelter. And Brian Stelter faced backlash on Twitter for not stepping in sooner to challenge Francis's initial comments, and later acknowledged he should have done more. He tweeted, I tweet and Twitter, I just don't get how they, oh well. He said, I agree that I should have interrupted after that line. I wish I had heard him say it. How could he not hear him say it? He was right there. But I was distracted by technical difficulties. That's why the show open didn't look the way it normally does. I had 2 computers at the table. Well, okay, not hearing the comment is my fault. So the CNN host, Brian Stelter, allows his psychiatrist to go on with that crazy talk, and there you go. So that was on Fox News yesterday. Okay, let me see here. Insurance, especially in these times, I think everybody needs insurance. That'd be a good idea. Well, can you do any better than the Ryan agencies? Probably not. I don't think so. They're local. They have offices in Hornell, Jasper, and Wellsville. They are expert in insurance. They offer sound, unbiased advice. They're friendly. They're local, so they know you. They know the area. They know all that. They find the insurance company that matches your unique needs and budget. They offer you the best insurance value, and they're experts in your unique insurance needs. And they're a great company. Great bunch of people. They have a website, RyanAgency.com. They are the Ryan Agencies.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Eddie Garcia.
In Major League Baseball games of note Sunday night, we had a battle between two of the top teams in Major League Baseball and a possible World Series preview with the Yankees beating the Dodgers in L.A. 5-1. New York took 2 of 3 in that weekend series. Cardinals over the Rockies 11-4. St. Louis sweeps the 4-game series and moves 2.5 games up on Chicago for first in the NL Central. The Cubs lost to the Nationals 7-5 in 11 innings, and Chicago is swept in that series by Washington. 10 innings for the Indians to fall the Royals 9-8. Cleveland, though, still holds the number 1 wildcard spot in the American League. The Rays lose to the Orioles 8-3. Tampa Bay still holds the number 2 wildcard spot in the AL, and the A's fall to the Giants 5-4. Oakland still a half game out of that wildcard spot in the American League. Phillies lose to the Marlins 3-2. Philadelphia remains a game and a half back of Chicago for the last wildcard spot in the National League. Braves won their 8th straight, sweeping the Mets 2-1. It was the Brewers falling to the Diamondbacks 5-2. So New York and Milwaukee remain 2 games out of the last wildcard spot in the National League.
From the Fox Business Network, stock futures are sharply higher. President Trump is now indicating trade talks with China will resume, telling reporters representatives from China called U.S. trade negotiators, and the two sides will start talking very seriously. Stocks skidded on Friday after the trade dispute escalated, with both sides revealing new tariffs. Target is opening permanent Disney stores at some of its locations this fall. The first 25 Disney mini stores open October 4th. There will be 40 additional stores opening next year. There's also a Disney presence on Target's website. The two companies are planning a new Target store near the entrance of Walt Disney World to open in 2021. The Dow was down 623 on Friday. The Nasdaq dropped 239, and the S&P was down 75. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jenny Cosola.
Prescription products require an online physician consultation and are only available if the physician determines a prescription is appropriate. See website for full details.
Hey guys, good news. The expensive Little Blue pill is now generic, which means you can get the prescription medication to treat ED at affordable prices. And now get your first month's supply for just $5 at 4hims.com/joy. Hims connects you with real doctors online who can prescribe the medication, and a pharmacy sends it right to your door. So easy. To get your first order for just $5, you need to go to 4hims.com/joy. That's FORHIMS.com/joy.
Today at Simmons Rockwell Ford in Hornell, Bath, or Halstead, drive a new 2019 Ford Escape SE 4x4, equipped with heated power seat, 8-inch touchscreen media, and alloy wheels. Now buy for only $21,099. Shop the Simmons Rockwell Ford dealerships in Hornell, Bath, or Halstead. Simmons-Rockwell.com.
And here we are. Let me see. We've heard for about a year now that plastic straws are no good, and a lot of places have banned plastic straws. Well, there's got to be an alternative, right? Okay, there's either plastic or perhaps the paper or something like that. Well, somebody has come up with pasta straws. Pasta straws made out of pasta. That's right. It's, let me see, what's the name of it? The straws are basically bucatini. Now, bucatini is straight, tubular lengths of uncooked noodles. And they're all made in Italy at the moment, but a couple of American manufacturers are thinking of making these pasta straws. So, I mean, there's a photograph. It looks like a bunch of straws, only they're made of pasta. That's kind of interesting. So, let me see here. A lot of restaurants are starting to offer these pasta straws. Kind of. Now, how long would a pasta straw last? Okay, you put a straw made out of pasta in, let's say, a glass of water or whatever. juice or something. So how long are they going to last? Apparently, they last roughly an hour before softening up, right? So whatever you're drinking, like a Diet Coke or something like that, probably the pasta straw, you'll be done inside of an hour, I would guess. And apparently it says here that it doesn't taste like pasta. Although, if you tried, if you left it in a drink for over an hour, it might start tasting like pasta. But apparently it doesn't. Huh. So there you go. Straws made out of pasta. That's pretty non-linear thinking. That's pretty good. Okay. And what else have we here? We have a whole bunch. Matter of fact, I do have a lot. Good, jeez. Okay, how about we do this? This is National Dog Day. And it says here, now I don't know if I agree with this, but it's from Newsweek, why dogs are better than cats, according to science. Let's see here. Dogs have more neurons than cats, according to Newsweek. And might not mean a lot to when it comes down to who gives the best snuggles, but it does give some straight insight into which animal is smarter. So dogs have more neurons than cats. Okay, that's very good. Apparently that makes them a whole bunch smarter. I don't know. Let me see. Dogs have cancer-detecting noses. You've heard about this, I'm sure. Working dogs at Penn Vet are being trained to detect ovarian cancer, also known as a silent killer, as it does not display symptoms until the advanced stages. So they've been experimenting with dogs sniffing out cancer. That's kind of interesting right there. Cat allergies are worse than dogs. So cat allergies stay in the air a lot longer for some reason. And let me see, dogs are better for your health. While research has shown that cats are great for emotional well-being and make great therapy animals, studies have shown that dogs are better for different aspects of our lives. So that's according to research done by Harvard Medical School. That's kind of interesting. Tomorrow we will go into cats, because I have a competing article that says cats are better than dogs. And this too was in Newsweek. So I wish they get the story straight. Either dogs are better or cats are better. So tomorrow we'll approach cats. Okay, and that's it. I will see you tomorrow at 8:05. Bye.